These definitely all look like they have probably close to the 100,000 miles on them. They might be factory, I don't know. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs on the 2018 Honda Pilot. First thing we're going to do is remove this trim piece here. Then you're going to remove the cover. There are 6 total spark plugs. 3 in the front and 3 in the back.
And a light bulb.
10 millimeter for everything, always. We'll start with the easy ones in the front first, because the ones in the back you can't hardly see. Ooh, let me get my bits and bobs pan. Don't lose the bits or the bobs. For these electrical plugs, what you're going to do is you're going to push where it says push and then pull away. Same thing with the other ones. Push and pull away. And when you're pushing, let me pull this out. When you're pushing, what it's doing is it is rocking that plastic part backwards so that it can get up over this lip here. So you see this lip? That plastic part, when you're pushing down this way, it's lifting it up so you can pull it off of this clip here. When you get these out, make sure you keep them in the order that you got them. So I'm using a 16 millimeter here with an extension, a 3/8 extension. And then I've got another little stub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this in to get it onto the spark plug. And once it's in there, then I'm going to attach this to break it loose. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but real quick before we go on, it is the next day and the project gets completed, but I'm sitting here talking about a 16 and a 5/8, and I'm doing all this fancy stuff with the magnet. What I didn't realize, kind of embarrassed to admit, but I have a specific socket for removing these spark plugs. It's a socket with a magnet built into it, so that way when you go to put it in the engine, it locks on to the spark plug. So if you don't have one, don't worry about it. I'm not saying you need to go to the store, but you definitely are going to have some sort of magnetic device to get this thing out. So again, before we continue, if you have a 5/8 magnetic socket that's built specifically for spark plugs, probably best to use that instead of doing what we're about to do here. All right, we'll do the same thing with this one. We'll feed this down. Take our little nub and our 3/8. Now with it like that, I can hand loosen it the rest of the way. And then again, snipe it with the magnet. Gotcha. Okay, last one in the front. We'll move on to the back. It's pretty tough to show, but you've got 3 here. 1, 2, 3.
you go.
Okay, lots of laying on the car. So for the sake of my sanity and yours, I'm gonna take the other back two out, and then we're gonna work on the installation part. See you when we're done. Okay, we got all 6 spark plugs out. Just showing you a little bit of the wear on each one of them. This is just about 100,000 miles versus the brand new ones. There you go. Now it's in.
This one?
Well, now we're gonna. So now we have 6 of them, right? How many are over there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to put 6 in the big holes. I got spark plugs.
So we snugged it down with our hands, and then we'll finish it off with the ratchet. Tighten her down. It doesn't have to be crazy tight, just tight. Take everything out. And then we'll do the same thing for these other 2, and then we'll do the same thing with the 3 in the back, okay? And then I'll show you what's gonna happen next with the boots. All right, when we go to reinstall these boots, we are going to be throwing on some dielectric grease here. The instructions say to place some on the ceramic portion of the spark plug, as well as the outside and inside of the igniter boot. Two. Oh yeah. There you go. All right. You POV verts. Let's put these tenors in. Last thing to do, make sure that we got all of our tools and toys out of there. No leftover flashlights. We'll install the top part of the engine cover. Hey, if you got a secret way of putting this on, leave a comment in below. Because I know what I have to do. It's the doing. There we go. Goodness gracious. The final piece. Always make sure that you snake in the latch first, and then start on one side. Hopefully that was an easy video. Probably the most important one to get the spark plug out was going to be that 16 millimeter. You can also use a 5/8, and that is the equivalent. It has to be a deep socket though, or else you're not going to be able to thread onto that spark plug. Now for me, I had to use a little bit of extension to not only get in around the back of the engine, but then also just get enough in there so that my 3/8 ratchet was able to grab hold and bring the spark plug out. So in addition to the 5/8 or the 16 millimeter, you also are going to need that 10 millimeter socket. That 10 millimeter socket is what's going to take those ignition coils out of the way. Then, of course, your 3/8 ratchet, something that has decent length to it and is also slim enough to kind of maneuver it back in the rear of the engine, if you will. Then for those boots, it is always recommended to use some sort of grease. This is a 3-ounce thing of grease. I will never use this in my lifetime. This is way too much. So if you see the smaller ones for cheaper out there, go ahead and get you some. Let's see if the car starts up. Starts up and runs no problem. 6 brand new spark plugs, super easy DIY task to do on your own. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, drop a comment if you got more questions, and hit that subscribe button on your way out. We'll see you next time. I just gotta spend the rest of the day getting this grease off my hands.